Going to start our Down on the Farm segment in Single A Rancho Cucamonga as we do each and every show. Hey, this is left-hander Wyatt Carell out of Florida State. Carell had a very good outing his first time out. Yesterday was his second outing with Rancho, and it was very, very good. 2 2/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. As a matter of fact, he has not allowed a run in his 2 starts. That's 5 2/3 innings for Rancho. The mix that you're seeing here, that's a sinker, so he has a little bit of a left turn to that sinker. The slider you just saw in that picture there. And then what he calls kind of a splinker changeup, meaning, like that sinker turns left, and so does the changeup. Let me restart that again. But yet the sinker is quite a bit harder thrown than the changeup. So it's kind of from a speed perspective in between a changeup and a sinker to give that left turn. So he calls it a splinker. So a sinker, slider, splinker, changeup mix. So that allows him to get the big break. We've seen the big breaking sweepers, and then also the subtle movement like that last pitch there. So when you can get big break like that, and then also subtle movement, the big break's going to get a lot of swing and miss. The subtle movement's going to get a lot of weak contact. There's a big breaker there. You've seen some weak contact with the subtle movements. And whenever you do that, your sequencing is going to be good. You can tell Wyatt Carell is very comfortable with what makes him good, the sequences that he's being asked to execute, and he's one step ahead of all the hitters. There's a good get me over there. So very impressed with Wyatt Carell. Again, 2 2/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Christian Rubek, wow, this guy is very impressive. Now, his ERA is not very good because, like all these power arms down here at this level, he just has not thrown strikes all the time. But when the ball is in the zone, like it has been for his last 4 outings, actually, let me go ahead and stop. Let me get that down to 2.5 or 0.25 speed so I can show you something here. Right there. Okay, so right here to a hitter, this looks like a crossfire, meaning he's getting ready to step in the third base dugout. So for a hitter, that's a very uncomfortable crossfire, but then look where he actually lands. Right there. So it looks like a crossfire, but yet it's not. And then another thing to notice as well, as far as the way that he delivers the ball at home plate, look how athletic he is. Look how close to the ground he gets with that back knee. That is a very, very, very athletic position to be in. Kind of reminds you of a Nolan Ryan type setup, which is why Christian Rubek can approach 100 miles an hour. So very impressive performance last night. He actually threw the 9th inning, the bottom of the 9th inning for Rancho Cucamonga, and had 2 strikeouts and a flyout. And what I want to show you here, hey, basically, he said, here comes the Nolan Ryan Express. See if you could hit it. Lake and Elsinore absolutely could not. And then the last pitch to the second hitter, after he'd thrown about 9 of those fastballs right there in a row that were approaching 100 miles an hour, that the Storm could not hit. Last pitch of the inning, coming up right here, this next pitch, watch this. After all those big fastballs, right here, this is big time. That is a big-time slider. Great job, Christian Rubek. This is the 3rd time I've had a chance to see Alexander Albertis. Now, this is his first hit, just kind of a blooper that the first baseman couldn't quite grasp and bring into his grasp, I should say. But Albertis, I'll tell you what, man, this guy has some electricity. You can see that's the top of the 10th inning. The placeholder runner was at second base, the place runner. This scored that place runner with 1 out on a double. You can see the excitement that he plays with. He's shooting his bow and arrow right there as if he just struck one down. So then about a couple of pitches later, see, that ball didn't get very, very far past the catcher. He's aggressive in going to third, then aggressive coming home, and uses his speed, good speed for Alexander Albertis, and then the really nice positive energy, super excited. So excited to watch Alexander Albertis. Just came up from the complex. He's a guy that I know has created a lot of excitement within the organization. So keep your eye on Alexander Albertis as we cover him more and more with Rancho. Going to go ahead and skip right on past Great Lakes. We're going to get them and get a lot of coverage on them next time we have Austin on the show, but not a whole lot to talk about in last night's game or the game before that. So we're going to go ahead, and we have a lot to talk about with Tulsa. As you can see, I was in Tulsa again last night. Thanks to my beautiful bride of 25 years who watched the 2 pit bull babies in the hotel room as we're waiting for electricity to get turned back on, allowed me to go to the beautiful One Oak Field in downtown Tulsa. and watch some more great drillers baseball. So this is Chris Campos. First time I've had a chance to see him in person, and wow, was he impressive. Fastball, the one you're seeing here, it's about 93, 94. So that fastball up in the zone, he is so good at locating that fastball to specific points. See, there's one low, you saw one high, there's one up and in. His location, there's another one up and in. His location on that fastball, and then there's that slider. Let me back that one up, and this is really the pitch that separates him right here. He worked on it in the offseason. That slider, well, that's the fastball there. This slider right there is just an absolutely big, that one there. That is a big-time pitch. So you saw some dead, there's that four-seam up in the zone to pair with it. So he manipulates that pitch. There's a cutter. See how that last one, that one there, that one just kind of slid to the left a little bit, whereas that swing and miss strike three slider had a lot of depth. There's another big kind of curveball type pitch. So he's able to manipulate the baseball as well as anybody that I have seen with my own eyes. His slider's approaching 90. That's another thing. He's 93, 94 on the fastball, but his cutterish type pitch is around 90 miles an hour. Then his slider with depth's about 88, and then he can throw in a curveball that's high 70s. So not only does it have a lot of manipulation to it and great movement, sometimes it's subtle, just left turns, sometimes it's big depth. Not only does it have all of that, it also has a change of speeds to it, and you can tell Chris Campos absolutely knows his sequencing. They've gone over it before the game starts, and he has it basically down and mastered. He's totally bought in to the way he's being asked to pitch, and he's very impressive. I'm just telling you. His stuff, again, just 93, 94, but just the way that he executed, sequenced, and manipulated the baseball, this guy is very impressive, Chris Campos. I want to show you something cool. Watch that firewood right there. That's B-Lou, Brandon Lewis, and that's how strong he is. Actually ended up getting a base hit with that. Had a good night last night. Brandon Lewis did. As a matter of fact, Brandon Lewis has been playing really good offense all month long. It's been a couple of years that, hey, he's been trying to find his swing. He's gone back to some of the triggers and swing mechanisms that made him so successful in 2021. A strong young man that can hit a lot of home runs, and as you can see, very strong. He still get enough contact on that baseball while cracking his bat in half. So I wanted to show you a broken bat just like that from about 10 feet away from Brandon Lewis. So this is a good look at Jose Ramos, who has had a really good couple of games. And hey, I talk about it all the time. When you have a guy that's as talented as Jose Ramos, it just takes a spark to create a gigantic flame, because once a guy like this gets hot, he starts feeling good about himself. Watch out, because the talent is absolutely off the charts. There you see, good two-strike approach. That was with two strikes. You see him pump the fist like, heck yeah, I'll take that base hit. So I wanted to get a good look from behind home plate, and then also an open-face look of Jose Ramos. There is just a nice, sweet swing. Just watch how just under control and smooth this swing is right there. And you can see he hits that ball way out in front. That's why he has a bunch of swing and miss, because when you hit the ball that far out front and there's any kind of change in speed and your timing's not perfect, it's going to be tough. There's not a lot of adjustability this far in front of the strike zone, but he was a little bit fooled, and the reason why he was able to hit this pitch, watch how under control and smooth this swing is, getting ready to come up right here for the base hit. So good job, Jose Ramos. Nice smooth swing right there. Very talented. So here's a look at Dalton Rushing from behind home plate. There is a nice base hit to the opposite field gap. He was thinking double. So let me back this up. They say doubles are made out of the box. Well, watch this, Dalton Rushing. I mean, from the time he hit it, he was busting out of the box, thinking double. Whoop, right there, put on the brakes. Head back to first base. Then he rips one down the right field line that just went foul and ended up getting a base hit. Now watch this. This one goes to left center, and I'm going to back that up and watch. He's a little bit out in front. This ball put the center fielder right up against the wall. As a matter of fact, the center fielder ran into the wall on this pitch right here. One that he really just kind of was out front on and didn't hit, as good as, definitely not as good as he can. That's how much carry he has on his fly balls. That's how much power potential Dalton Rushing has. So I wanted to show you a couple of his at-bats. There's an open-face look on a ball that he turned on. So Dalton Rushing, there is a good look at him. So back to the pitching side, this is Hobbs. Got to see him in person for the first time. Could not wait to see that slider. There's a good fastball there. Hey, he was about 94, 95 last night. Did give up a run, but had a little bit of a there's that slider. Wow, that is a big pitch. Back that up. Watch this. That is a dirty slider. And then also there it is. There's that slider again. Back-to-back sliders that are just absolutely dirty from directly behind home plate. There is another slider that had a little bit more depth. There is another slider that ended up on the outer half. Let me back that up and kind of show you just how hard this pitch would be to hit. Back this up here and show you where it comes out of right there. So it comes out about right here, and then it ends up on the outer half of the plate, low in the zone. That is a big-time pitch for Michael Hobbs. I was so excited to get to see it in person, and it certainly did not disappoint. Got to see Edgardo Enriquez come out of the pen the night before, and Lucas Webb. Got to see Michael Hobbs and Logan Boer. Logan Boer, the thing about him, hey, his fastball can approach 100 miles an hour. His ERA is well under 2. He's having one of the better years of any relief pitcher in the minor leagues. So Logan Boer has been simply fantastic. But what you're seeing here, yes, that four-seam you just saw is a great pitch. But what really impressed there, you can see the excitement on that last. Did you see Dalton Rushing there? I mean, you see the emotions of the pitcher. You saw it with Lucas Webb the other night. You've just seen it over and over. Logan Boer right here, he's fired up. Now look at Dalton Rushing, man. A lot of that is Dalton Rushing and the way that he lights a fire into his pitchers. But the thing that really stuck out to me about Logan Boer was the fact that he was willing to throw his slider in every scenario possible, whether he gets up in the count, down in the count, to get ahead in the count. All those scenarios, Logan Boer had a very good slider, so that fastball that approaches 100, plus that very good slider that he throws in any situation there's that slider there, is a very good combination. See, there's two in a row. You see him throw them to righties, you see him throw to lefties, and he threw it, again, like I said, at the beginning of the count, down in the count, up in the count, you name it. So that slider fastball combo of Logan Boer is very, very good. So the last guy we're going to cover on our Tulsa segment of the Down the Farm, it's Alex Freeland. Here's a close look from behind. Just kind of want to show you how his swing sets up, how he loads, how he gets through the baseball from directly behind home plate. There is a nice swing there for Alex Freeland, and then here is an open-faced look at him. I love that swing. That is a swing that's going to create, or at least it should, if he has a lot of talent. There's one where he rips down to right field. You talk about making doubles out of the box. Watch this young man run. That guy can run right there, especially for a shortstop. So a very good athlete and a really nice swing. I mean, watch his head. His head just doesn't move. Everything just kind of rotates around the head and around the core. So not a lot of movement to his swing, but yet it generates a lot of power. So a lot of potential here for Alex Freeland. His head does come forward a little bit, but it doesn't drop hardly any at all. So lots of potential here for Alex Freeland to have consistency plus power, especially when you add in that speed right there that he has, that he actually uses to steal bases with. So I wanted to show you a good close-up look of Alex Freeland. Moving now to the AAA level, this was RiverRyan, who was capped at 60 innings last night, which is good because I think his first outing, don't exactly quote me on this, but I think his first outing, his pitch limit was somewhere around, I think it was exactly 40 pitches. So the 60 threw 59 last night and came out after a strikeout in the fourth inning. He went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And like I said, came out after he got 2 strikeouts in the fourth inning. He touched 98.5. So the fastball is still approaching 100 miles an hour, which is what you want to see from a guy that's recovering from shoulder fatigue. He sat 96.8. So you're talking about a fastball that can approach 100 at the top end. That's going to sit in the upper mid 90s, on an everyday pitch-to-pitch, consistent basis, and his slider touched 90 miles an hour. And also that slider had a 60% whiff rate. So those are the 2 main pitches. He did sprinkle in a curveball and a change every now and then, but that slider you're seeing there and that 4-seam fastball that sat above 96 and hit above 98 were his 2 main pitches last night, and the slider was a big-time pitch. So great outing, RiverRyan, for his second time back. his stuff looks really, really good. Watch this first pitch take a right turn. Wow, look at that. That hitter's like, holy cow, I can't believe how far that pitch moved. And then he turns it left with that slider / cutter. Those are two wicked pitches. He hung that one a little bit. But whenever you're able to create that kind of subtle movement, both to the right and to the left, it gives you margin for error, of which we saw on that pop-up on that last pitch. And then it also, as he bores this thing in on the hands, that pitch actually turned left. See how see that sequence? I'm going to back that up. It's the left turn to the slider here. So here is the left turn, kind of that cutter, and then a right turn to the right-hander with the sinker. So left turn, right turn, right turn, left turn. That is Sauer and Lau, and it just stays away from barrels. It keeps hitters off balance. And by the way, it's going to create a lot of sawdust in his day. He's going to create a lot of firewood like that broken bat there. Another pop-up, just as a matter of fact, I know he broke at least one bat in this game. That's going to probably be a regular occurrence for him because that right turn coming in on the hands of right-handed hitters is legit. So put Sauer and Lau in your Rolodex, no doubt about that. Here's Austin Gothier. Hey, just put the ball in play. Look, 2 strikes there. See that right there? So with 2 strikes, guess what Austin Gothier is thinking? He's thinking just figure out how to get the ball fair. There's Bryson Brigman, by the way, who was with AAA Oklahoma City all last year. Get the ball fair, and then there he got actually rewarded with a base hit. Then he went opposite field home run. Love Austin Gothier in the way that he stays inside the baseball and absolutely just wears out that opposite field. That was double number 11 that you saw earlier in the game on the 2-strike approach where he just tried to put the ball in play. Home run number 6 to the opposite field. That is a nice swing for Austin Gothier. Look how deep he let that ball get. Gothier is now 5 for his last 7, and he's been on base in 13 of his last 14 games. WRC plus of 113, so he's 13% better than league average in the PCL. Check this out, though. Right here, that opposite field home run. That is something Austin Gothier does a lot, as we talk about. Opposite field percentage, 39.6. That's 8 points higher than his pull percentage. And by the way, he is the master at getting on base. His on-base percentage is .404. That's why he has such a high floor. As far as, even on the periods of the season where he's not hitting the baseball exactly perfect, he still gets on base a lot because he puts the ball in play with 2 strikes and he walks a lot. So he gets on base a lot, and he is just a very good offensive player, Austin Gothier.